Hi, everyone, and welcome to week 8 of virtual launch for Sacrament Year 2. And can you guys believe it? Your first reconciliation is happening next week, which is really exciting. So I hope you guys are feeling good about it. I hope you're feeling comfortable with it, and it's going to be a really special day for you. So get excited. Again, but if you still feel a little nervous, that's totally normal. No worries. It's totally normal to feel a little nervous. Like I said before, even adults feel nervous about going to reconciliation sometimes, so you are not alone. But also, I just wanted to remind you again that you've got lots of people there to help you out. I'll be there. Miss Jenny will be there. Miss Jackie will be there. We will all be there to help you if you have any last minute questions or you're not sure what to do. Also, don't forget that you're going to get a little sheet of paper that's kind of like your cheat sheet. So it's going to list the steps of reconciliation out for you, so you'll know what to do. It'll give you some ideas of like what you should say. It'll have the act of contrition printed on there. You don't have to have it memorized. And also remember that the priest will help you out too, because he totally understands that this is your first reconciliation. This is the first time you've done this, and he totally understands that you might feel nervous, and he will also help you out. Because remember, the priests here at St. Anne's, we've got Father Ray, there's Father Joe, Father Gabe, and Father Robert. They are all super, super nice, all right? Super nice guys, really great priests, and they will help you out, all right? So no worries. I don't want you to feel nervous or panicked about anything. It's going to be just fine. You're going to do a great job, and you're going to feel so happy and so good when you walk out of reconciliation. It really is a great, great feeling. So that is why I'm really excited for you guys, all right? So this week, for this week's lesson, we are doing session 6 in your book, and we are actually doing only a few of the episodes. We're not doing all 7. I think we're doing 2 through 6. All right, so what we're talking about in this session today and what you're going to learn from watching the cartoon videos with Ben and Sarah and Hemingway and their friends, you're going to be talking about prayer. You're going to be talking about gratitude, and also the power of good habits. So those are what you're going to be learning about in the videos this week, and it's kind of a really nice way to wrap up our semester, our lesson here for the last 8 weeks about reconciliation, all right? And just some good reminders as we move forward, because after Christmas, when we come back in January, we're going to start learning and preparing for your first communion. All right, so pretty exciting stuff going on in year 2. All right, so let's talk about prayer real quick. I'm just going to try and keep this video short because I know you guys would like to get to the animated and the cartoon videos because they're a little bit more interesting sometimes, right? All right, so prayer. Well, what is prayer? Very simply, prayer is talking to and listening to God, all right? There's all different kinds of ways that you can pray. You've probably learned this before in other launch classes. You can pray out loud. You can pray silently. You can pray just silently in your head or silently in your heart. Prayers can be long. Prayers can be short. Prayers can be, prayer something that you've memorized, like the Our Father or the Hail Mary or the Act of Contrition or the Glory Be. Some prayers are prayers that you've memorized. Some prayers can be just you talking to God, just saying whatever's on your mind, whatever is on your heart, and talking to God the same way that you would talk to a friend or talk to an adult that you trust, like a parent or a grandparent or another adult in your life who's really important to you. So the cool thing is there's no right or wrong way to pray. It's totally up to you, whatever feels the most comfortable for you. And you can also pray anywhere. You can pray in church, of course. Most people would think of that. You can pray in your house. Maybe your family says a prayer before you eat meals. Maybe you say prayers before you go to bed at night. Maybe you say prayers in the morning, but you can say prayers anywhere. You can be outside. You can be in the car. You could be at soccer practice. You could be in the middle of a piano lesson. I mean, you can pray anywhere, okay? Which is really kind of cool. No matter where you are, you can talk to God. And like I said, you don't even have to be talking out loud. You can talk to God just silently, just by thinking the words in your head, or maybe just a feeling that you have in your heart or thoughts in your head. And God will still hear those prayers. That's what's amazing about God, because he's so all powerful that he knows your thoughts even when you don't say them out loud. All right? So God is always there, and he is always there. He's ready to listen to you. He wants you to talk to him because he wants to have that friendship and that relationship with you. Think about your best friend, okay? That chances are that person has become your best friend because you spend a lot of time with each other, right? It's hard to be friends with a person that you never spend time with. It's hard to be friends with a person that you never talk to, right? Well, it's the same thing with God. If in order to keep our friendship with God strong and in order to stay close to God, we have to talk to him. We have to spend time with him. That is how our relationship with God grows and gets stronger. Same way as a friendship that you have with a special friend in your life. If you never talk to them and you never spend time with them, you're probably not going to stay very close friends, right? Right. So somebody that you enjoy being friends with, you want to talk to them and you want to spend time with them. Well, God wants to have that kind of a relationship and that kind of a friendship with you. And that's why he's always there to listen to you no matter where you are and no matter what you're doing. Right? So that's pretty cool. So that's one of the things that Ben and Sarah are going to talk more about in the videos, is about the prayer process. Because sometimes you might be like, well, I don't know what to pray about. They're going to have some really good tips and some really good suggestions for what you can do to kind of get your mind in prayer mode. Okay? The other thing that's important that we're going to talk about, speaking of prayer, the story from the Bible in episode 5 talks about how Jesus prayed, because Jesus prayed a lot. And Jesus prayed in different ways too. Sometimes he prayed by himself. Sometimes he prayed with his friends, the apostles. Sometimes he prayed in big groups, like when there was a big group of people that had gathered to listen to him teach about God. Sometimes he prayed with those people. So Jesus is a really good role model for us on how we can pray. And again, Jesus was showing us that it's not like there's only one way to pray, because Jesus prayed in a lot of different ways too. And one thing that Jesus did a lot when he went to go pray is he went to a quiet place. He went to a place, this is when he would be praying by himself. He just wanted some one-on-one time with God. He would go away to a place that was kind of quiet. So he'd kind of walk away from maybe the big crowds of people, or maybe even just step outside. If all of the apostles were inside in one place, he might step outside or step away from the group, because it's important sometimes to just have that nice quiet time, just you and God. Because usually when it's quiet and you don't have other distractions around you, you can really focus on God. You can focus on what you're saying to God in your prayers, but then you can also focus on listening to see how God responds to you, because God answers your prayers. Now, it's not always like a voice that you can hear. Sometimes that might be a feeling in your heart. Sometimes it might be a thought that you have in your head, but we need it to be quiet in order to hear those soft answers and those soft replies from God. And that's one of the things that Jesus showed us in his own life, is sometimes he went to a quiet place to pray. So again, Ben and Sarah are going to talk about some of their favorite places to go pray. And that might be something that you can think about this week. Where are some of your favorite places to go pray? When you want to have some nice one-on-one time with God, where do you like to go? Something to think about this week. All right, and then finally, we're ending the session talking about the power of great habits. All right, and we're going to talk about what good habits are and how you can develop your own great habits. You probably already have some really great habits that you already follow, like Well, of course, right now, when we're in the middle of this pandemic, a great habit that everybody should have is, of course, washing your hands a lot, right? To get rid of the germs. But prayer is also a really good habit to develop. And again, as you're growing up and you're getting a little older and you're learning more about your faith and you're growing more in your faith, prayer is a really important habit for you to start learning. Okay, so they're going to talk about that. I believe that's episode 4. That would be episode 4 on the cartoon videos. And then finally, we're ending the whole thing with talking about being grateful and how important it is to have a grateful heart and to remember to take time, for example, in your prayer time, to say thank you to God for all of the incredible and many ways that He has blessed you. Right? So that's a little bit of an overview of what you're going to be learning about in the videos for session 6 this week. And then, like I said, next week is the big day. It's First Reconciliation. So depending on what day you're signed up for, you'll either be here on Monday or Tuesday. And like I said, I'll be there on both days. Miss Jenny will be there. Miss Jackie will be there. It's going to be a really, really fun and a really special day. And I'm actually really kind of looking forward to getting to meet some of you guys actually in person, because I haven't seen any of you. I've just, been talking to my computer screen, and then you guys watch the videos later. So I'm excited to meet some of you actually live and in person too. I know we'll have our masks on, but still, it'll be nice to see you. So I'm really excited for you. Again, remember, if you want to review the steps of reconciliation, you can either go back and watch some of the other videos that I've done. You can go back, you can click on the link on the Google Sites that takes you to the ebook, the book online. You can find the pages online. If you have a hard copy of the book at home, you can go back and read the book on those pages, or you can also go back and find if you want to watch the cartoon videos, it would be session 5, and I can't remember which episode it is. I want to say it's 4. I think it's episode 4 in session 5 that actually goes through the steps of reconciliation if you want that for a little review. Okay. The other thing that I've done this week, and I know I didn't get to do it last week because of all the power outages and the church was closed because they didn't have power because of Tropical Storm Zeta. But this week I also have for you a video that shows you a virtual tour of the reconciliation rooms. So definitely check that out. See what the reconciliation rooms look like. It'll give us a chance to talk a little bit more about the Sacrament of Reconciliation. So if you got a few minutes, definitely check that out. Now, again, I mentioned this last week, but just another reminder, this year, because of the pandemic and because of social distancing rules, reconciliation is actually not going to be in the reconciliation rooms. It's just we can't, the rooms are too small that we can't put a safe enough distance between you and the priest to meet the social distancing rules. So First Reconciliation will actually be in different places around the church, okay? So even though you won't actually be in the reconciliation rooms for your first reconciliation, I still think it's important for you to take a look at and know what the rooms look like so that if you go to reconciliation another time, you'll be familiar with it, okay? Also, there's a painting that's in both of the reconciliation rooms that I just really, really love. And I think it's really important for you guys to see that picture as you're heading into next week and your first reconciliation. It's one thing that's really important that I want you to remember. I love this example. I actually got this example when I was talking to my best friend, and she shared this. She learned this from the priest at her church, where she goes to church. She lives in North Carolina, and this is what her priest said about reconciliation. He said, reconciliation is like getting a big hug from Jesus. I just love that. That's exactly what it is. Reconciliation is getting a big hug from Jesus. He is just so happy that you're there. He is so happy to forgive you, and he's full of love for you. So again, he's not angry with you. He's not mad at you. He's not going to yell at you. It's like getting a big, giant hug from Jesus. All right, so think about that as you're getting ready for next week, and think about that when you're actually receiving your sacrament next week. You're getting a big, giant hug from Jesus, because that's what reconciliation is all about. All right, so have a great week, and I can't wait to see you next week at First Reconciliation. All right. Bye, guys.